Yo, what's up everybody? Ryan back with the talking point of the day / week with Unbreakable and Tony Robbins. This was an amazing book that I read. I finished it about a month ago, just over a month ago. This is part 2 to Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game that I would have already talked about on the channel. I actually got this book for free back in the spring. I ordered it online. You just pay for shipping and handling, so technically not free, but I got it for like $8. And right now I want to talk about what I gained from it, what I feel is useful for you, and then how to use it. Number one, what did I gain from it? Well, it's called Unshakeable, Unshakeable. And the whole point of that book is in that title itself, right? So it's about how to be unshakable no matter what is coming, what is shaking the rest of the world. How can you be unmoldable, unshakable, unfazable in any environment, any circumstance, in this case, financially, right? So how can I allow my finances to support me, support my family, support what I want to do in life, no matter what's going on with the world, no matter what's going on with the stock market, the bond market, the real estate market. Doesn't matter what market. How can you be unshakable in your life, in your finances? And then he does, of course, get into how can you be unshakable with the psychology and in your own life, in your own emotions that do affect your finances, in your own relationships that, again, do affect your finances, in your own psychology that does affect your own finances. So he always relates it back to you, which I love. He has a saying talking about 90% of anything or 80% of anything is psychology, and the other 20% is skill and action, right? And really the psychology does determine your action. So really the only 10% or 20% of success is skill, 80% of it is your psychology. I love that because no matter what we do, no matter if you're a CEO or a worker, 80% of your success, the relationships, how people view you is going to be on how you view yourself. What kind of work you do, and your psychology does affect that. And the other 20%, yeah, it's going to be, are you good at what you do, or do you get lucky, right? And if you're in a good psychological state, there we go, have a good psychology, you're going to put yourself in better positions to succeed and get noticed and get success and get lucky, right? When opportunity and preparation meet, that's what people call luck. It's just being prepared and you find an opportunity. Being prepared goes along with having the right psychology. So I really love that, and without getting too nitty gritty, he talked about just the same thing that Money Master the Game talked about, which I love, with the difference between mutual funds and index funds, and then ETFs between index funds, what they do, how to utilize them, stocks and bonds differences, and really the biggest thing is what are you using with your finances? Are you giving your money to someone that is putting it in a certain mutual fund? Are you giving it to a broker versus a registered investment advisor? Or are you giving it to someone that is a fiduciary investment advisor, someone that is legally required 24/7, 365 days to have your best interest at heart? Because you can give to someone that's a financial advisor at that time and then can turn around and be a stockbroker and put your money in certain funds and stocks that make them a higher commission by the company that they are investing your money in, and they will make more money off of you and you will make less money off of your money. I think that's something big, because they can say, yes, I have your best interest at heart, Mr. President, and then turn around and not have your best interest at heart. That is a legal thing that they can do and not get in trouble for, because that is not required by their degree of whatever title they have. There's like 100 of them, which makes it even more confusing. The book talks about that as being an investment advisor or a mutual fund manager. They can make a lot of money off of you, and you can make way less money. Like, I think over the span of, let's say 50 years, 7% a year, like hundreds of thousands, but even close to millions of less money that you would make and they would make off of you over 40, 50 years, and you could keep $1 million more just by not even touching it and changing who and what you invest with. I think that's extremely important. So to get out of all of that fun in the grass, right, to make it very simple, he talks about the difference between mutual funds, brokers, registered investment advisors, and fiduciary advisors, right? So fiduciary advisors are the ones that are legally required. Now, with that, you can either go with them if you don't want to use regulate your own money, or if you want to not get emotional about it, which a lot of us get emotional. We tend to sell when low and buy when high, whenever everything else is looking good and the market's looking great. And man, it's time to buy, baby. Tesla's up. I'm buying because it's going to keep going up, up, up. And guess what? When it falls, when shit hits the fan, when it's the crap bucket, we sell, sell, sell because we don't want to lose. Well, those are the two worst times to do those two actions. The best time to buy is when everything's low, and the best time to sell is when everything is high, when everything's going great. When you kind of think in the back of your mind, if I sell tomorrow, or if I sell today, would I make more if I sold tomorrow? That means you need to sell right now, because you don't know when it's going to go down. You don't know if it's going to go down 5 seconds from now, since everything is second right now and very minute. You don't know if it's going to go down a year from now, but you do know that you have it, right? And of course, that's your choice, and it depends what your goals are, but that's where emotions can get us mixed up and messed up when investing. So he also talks about index funds. So an index fund would be like the S&P 500 through Vanguard, VOO, where it mimics the S&P 500 Standard & Poor's, which is a measuring tool of the 500, I guess, like up and coming or highest valued companies, there we go, in the US. So it'd be like a lot of companies that we have heard of, such as Apple, such as Google, whatever it is, like the more fancy ones. Those are two tech companies. Tech companies are always gonna be fancy, but things like GE, Walgreens, Walmart, Target, many other things that I'm probably not thinking of, Amazon, Tesla, those are all very popular ones, but think of the most 500, right? There's gonna be tons that we haven't even heard of. So the S&P 500 index fund follows the trend of the 500 highest valued companies. As soon as one company poops, let's say Apple goes out of business, another one takes its place in the 500. Therefore, we are not at risk because we've invested in a part of all 500 of those companies rather than just Apple. Now, the technical reward may not be as high if I buy Apple at $30 today and it gets to 200 in the next 5 years or whatever. If I invested in 2002, I don't remember when the iTouch or iPod came out, but let's say I invested before it did, and then it came out and Apple became huge. Yeah, I could have made I don't know the right numbers, but like 3,000% increase, whatever it was. Sure, you could have made a lot of money, but no one knew. If you could go back in time, no one knew Apple was going to explode until it already exploded, right? We can't predict the future. We can't predict what stock is going to do hot, same as we can't predict what stock is going to do shit. And that's where a lot of people try and they mess up. Even the mutual fund managers that do this for a daily job, that do this for a living, and they have thousands of employees at each mutual fund that are looking at it every single day, every single second. They're the ones with the screens with the little tickers changing, and they pay people for this. Guess what? 96% of mutual funds fail to make money over a 10-year period. Just let that sit. 96% of mutual fund managers do not make money over a 10-year period. That means 4% do. Well, guess what? To flip a quarter and get right 4% of the time is some weird ass astronomical number. And you're going to try to do that with your money and your retirement savings and the money that you want to live off and give to your family and give to charities. Good luck, right? So it's putting in perspective what really helps. And I think I'm already blending number 1 and 2 with how it's helped me and how you can use it to help you. Is really just becoming aware of the financial business, because it's a business. Businesses like to make money. It's not evil, it's not wrong, it's how you make money, right? That's capitalism. The smarter people, if they don't have the money, they tend to end up with it, and the people that have a lot of money and no experience tend to end up with more experience and no money at the end of those 10 years, right? And then they do the same thing. It's a cycle. So it's pretty funny, and I love how it just really opens your mind to kind of what's going on and being smart with your own money, especially since it is very important to all of us. Number 3, now, what do we do with it? How do we use this? And I think I already went over why it's important to me, why it should be important to you. Number 3, how can we actually use this? Being aware of where we are putting our money and being aware of our psychology. We are very emotional creatures. Whenever we see money, whenever we see things going up in the stock market, things going down, we're going to want to react. So for me personally, I don't ever check the stock market, nor do I care, nor will I ever care, because I'm investing with my asset allocation very risky, I guess. I don't really care to go into my actual investments. I don't really think that matters. I'm young, I'm 23. I'm not looking to touch this money till I'm 70, 75, 80. Hopefully longer the better, because hopefully I don't need to, right? So I'm just letting compound work for me extremely well, to where whenever I do get closer to that age, let's say I'm 65, maybe I can start changing my asset allocation to be able to be less risky and more liquid, to where I can pull it out sooner if I need to, and things that allow me, no matter what the market is, or happening to the market, I should say, I'm not gonna lose big if I lose. Let's say the stock market hits the fucking fan, excuse my French, at age 69 for me, right? I should be able to have an asset allocation in different assets, and that goes over in the book. I'm not gonna go over that now. That will allow me to offset my losses, right? Rule number one for all of the billionaires that he interviewed in the book, which was 50, was minimize the downside. Don't lose money. That's Warren Buffett's number one and number two rule is, number one is don't lose money. Number two is read rule number one. That's literally word for word what he says. Go look at it. So if Warren Buffett's gonna say it, if 50 of the top billionaires that Tony Robbins interviewed in the US, and the 13 or so that he included in Money Master the Game that he really enjoyed, and he saw that they had a high quality of life, not just a high quality of financial money, a high quality of life in all areas, and they all talk about that, minimize the downside and maximize the upside after minimizing the downside. I think that's a very important rule for anybody to follow, and you can do it with any amount of money at any time. And as long as you have the knowledge and the access, which we all do, thankfully to people like Jack Bogle of Vanguard and many others that have allowed us to invest in index funds, is not just a rich man's game anymore. Anybody can get in it and use the power of compounding to our good. I think that is such a blessing, and being able to read both these books and learn so much about finances and my financial life and what it means to me, what my goals are, what's a magical financial life. Or if you don't read books like that, if you don't ask yourself those questions, you won't know. You won't even know what the money we all want is for. Well, guess what? I have a lot better of an idea of why I wanted the money in the first place and what I thought I was going to get from it, and be able to do that now, which will then make me enjoy it more and still get the money that I was going to get anyways, and to actually use it for something better now. And when you're happier, you tend to get things, better things in life, tend to make more money, right? That's a whole nother discussion. That's really what I enjoyed about this book. I think you would enjoy it too. I think it's worth the read. This one was not as long. I showed you Money Master Game. It's actually right here. I'm using it as a tripod. And that thing is a beast, dude. That thing was one of the best and my favorite books I've read my whole life. All 700 pages of it. So if you're ready for it, go ahead and do it. You will not regret it. Not only will you not regret it, it's going to be the best investment in yourself, because that's another thing Warren Buffett says. The best investment is the one in yourself. Unshakeable by Tony Robbins. Not that long. I finished it in like 3 weeks max. It's a great book to read, pretty fun. I feel like Tony Robbins is a great writer. He makes it kind of interesting, funny. If a book about finances and investing can be funny and interesting and life-changing and fulfilling for your goals and values, I think it's worth a read, because making a book on that subject, all those things I just said, is a very special gift and be able to do and be able to give yourself. So hope you read this book, hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the video. I love making these videos. I just go. So hope you learned something. Peace out.